Okay, Mikey Garcia, featherweight contender, about to fight for the championship against Celestino Cabellero. Mikey, how did you feel when you found out you had the Caballero fight and it was done?
Well, I mean, I got excited, got happy when I got word that that's what my next fight will be against Caballero for the WBA featherweight title. Got very happy. It's what every fighter works for. Every fighter starting, their career hopes and wishes to land the world title fight, and that's being, given to me now. I feel that I earned it. I deserve it. It's just a great feeling.
And do you think you'll be a little nervous going in there for your first world championship fight?
I don't think so. I take every fight just like any other day in the office. I'm not nervous in any of my previous fights, even though I fought in big arenas or under big cards with a lot of people there. I never get the butterflies or anything like that. I'm comfortable there. I take care of business in the ring, and that's what I'm there to do, and that's how I approach any fight.
And what do you think of Caballero as a fighter? Did you see him fight a lot?
Yeah, I've seen him fight several times. The very first time I saw him fight was when he fought Daniel Ponce de Leon. And that was one of his best performances, I think, of Caballero. Mm-hmm. He outboxed Ponce. He dropped Ponce de Leon in the fight. He just dominated him with his height, his reach, his advantage, and outboxed him all night long. But I've also seen Caballero in other more recent fights, and he hasn't impressed me too much to what he used to be when he fought De Leon. He's still very, very awkward with his lanky style, height and reach advantage. But I don't see his style being too effective, especially against a fighter like myself. I saw the fight when he fought Litzau, and Litzau was obviously there for a win, and he went in there determined to win, and that's what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when are you going to start training camp?
We've been training already. We just haven't picked up the pace yet, but we've been training just to stay loose, stay active, stay in shape. We'll pick up the training later when time gets closer to the fight. My dad usually will let me know when the real training begins, because he'll map out his calendar and jot down the days, the weeks to the fight, and it's really him that does all that, the planning. But we've been training already.
Yeah. Do you have like a rough draft going on in your mind already with how you're gonna fight Caballero?
No, I don't have a game plan yet. I've seen it, and we have an idea of what he may do, but we don't have something written down or something that we want to follow. The day of the fight, we feel that we have to study a few tapes of him, so that we can kind of get a better understanding of what he does in the ring, what are his best punches, what are his attributes, what are his weaknesses and openings that we can, take advantage of. So we'll take a look at that in the upcoming weeks and figure out and pick out a plan for the fight.
And what do you predict the early outcome's going to be? Your early prediction, I guess.
My prediction will have to be, I'm going to have to say, and I really do feel that I'm going to win. I think that's the night that I become world champion for the first time. And I think that it's not even going to be that difficult fight. I think I'm going to figure him out. I'm very smart. I'm a smart fighter. I figure out my opponents early, maybe a round or two, and I know what to do the rest of the night. And I don't think that I'm going to say that I'm going to win by knockout, because I never go into a fight hoping and predicting a knockout. But I do think it'll be a pretty easy fight for me, considering that I'm going to be the smarter fighter of us two.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of hopes for you, Mikey. What do you think of the rest of the what do you think of the rest of the champions and the rest of the dangerous guys in the featherweight division? It's a pretty deep division.
It's still yeah. Well, it is. It is a deep division. It's a strong, stacked up division. Not just the champions, but you got up and coming fighters like myself. who are right there, right in the moment, ready to challenge for a world title. However, the champions are tough. They're strong. They've been reigning champions, for quite some time now. You have the biggest name right now probably would be Salido with his major victories over Lopez. He's a tough warrior. He's been a tough warrior, a tough fighter. He's fought everybody. Since he fought Marquez, he fought Guerrero, Gamboa, Lopez, just a bunch of fighters. So he's experienced enough to win multiple titles still at this level in his stage of his career. Johnny Gonzalez, who just defended his title again, I think for the third time.
Mm-hmm.
He's a former bantamweight champion, and now featherweight champion, and he's been doing really very, very well with trainer Beristain. So these guys are there for a reason. They're champions for a reason. They pay their dues. They win the fights. That's why they're champions. The other two guys there that come to mind, Billy Dibb. He's a experienced fighter, very slick, tricky. Changes southpaw and goes back to right, and he's experienced as well. And that's why he's the IBF champion.
Yeah. So you keep your eye on your threats, huh?
Yeah, well, you just have to, know everybody in your division and kind of, figure something out, because you may end up fighting them. So, we hope that I get this first world title against Caballero, and hopefully by the end of the year or early next year, maybe unify the title with the other champions and see what we go from there.
That was my next question. Do you want to unify next? That's
that would
great.
be my first goal right away, was to unify the titles. I've heard other fighters, claim that they've conquered the division, that they've cleared the division, cleaned out everybody. And I don't see it. I don't see it. They win a title that might have been vacant, and then they win another title that was kind of almost in a way given to them or whatever, and then they end up moving up, saying that they cleaned the division out. They didn't defend it against the number one contender. They never unified it against another true champion. So, if I get to be world champion, I want to unify it with the real champions and unify it to show, everybody in the world and, every boxing fan, who the real featherweight champion will be. And I hope to do that.
And that's what we want on our champions, Mikey.
Yeah, well, I want to clean. In order for me to say that I cleaned out the division, I'll have to conquer every champion and collect all the titles, and that would be a great accomplishment for me if I can achieve that. But it's also, I understand boxing and politics and business, so it gets more complicated than just wanting to take the fight. So that's something that I would really, really love to do.
Sounds great, Mikey. Congratulations, man, and good luck. We'll catch up with you during training sometime.
Yeah, thanks. Anytime. You got my number.